You should be all set now, Mayor.
Okay, it is now 8:50. We are out of executive session. During executive session, no motions were made and no votes were taken. Ms. Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to move the approval of and vote on retirement incentive program.
Ms. Smith has moved the item. Ms. Smith,
Yes, first, Mayor, I would like to turn it over to Ray Burney to go over the elements of the retirement incentive program.
thank you. Mr. Burney.
Okay, tonight before you for your approval and for your consideration and approval is a retirement incentive program for certain City of Norwalk employees, the non-uniformed employees of the city represented by 3 different unions. That retirement incentive plan will add 3 years of service credit to the eligible employees to enhance their retirement package in an effort to have some of them retire, which will then in turn allow the city to take a look at those positions and do some examination on which positions we should fill, which positions we can not fill, which positions we can fill at a lower rate of pay. There are approximately 90 city employees who are eligible for this program. Based upon our experience with doing a program like this 10 or 11 years ago, we project about 30 employees will probably take this program. That will give the city the opportunity to take a look at those positions and again, go through an analysis of which positions we can not backfill, which positions we can look to consolidate, and which positions we can modify, and which positions maybe we can have a replacement at a little bit of a lower cost, on an effort at the end of the day to reduce our payroll costs and to make the workforce and the people in the workforce and the responsibilities they have a little bit more efficient than they are today. This program, if you approve it, will go into place immediately with the end goal of having the employees who elect to participate make their decision within a couple of 3 weeks and to have them leave the workforce as retirees in early October. That's it.
Ms. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Burney. Yes, I fully support this retirement incentive program. You know, as COVID has really affected us in so many ways, but the city has continued to be financially sound at this time, but we don't know what the future holds. And I would like to commend Mayor Rilling and his staff for being proactive before we really do feel those effects, because we don't know what it's going to look like in October or in January in terms of the economy. And by being proactive like this, we're looking out for taxpayers to try to identify cost savings that will help our taxpayers. It's a much better plan than just initially jumping to layoffs and furloughs at this time, because that would negatively impact vital city services. And we really want to try to avoid doing that. So we're fortunately not needing to do that at this time, but this retirement incentive will allow not just the opportunity to save the city money, but almost more importantly, to affect some efficiencies, operational efficiencies, where we might be able to consolidate jobs, or in some cases not have to replace positions that have been left. So the opportunity to create efficiencies in the way we run is almost even more important than the amount of money that we could potentially save. So I really support it for that reason as well. And this plan really allows for services to be kept at a high level while finding cost savings at this unprecedented time. So I fully support this retirement incentive program, and I hope that you will.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. And I appreciate Mr. Burney's work, Mr. Dakowitz, Ms. King. You know, during this entire pandemic, one of our top priorities was providing essential services to the citizens of Norwalk. We wanted to make sure that the pandemic did not interfere with our ability to do that. And the team put together a method where we continued to provide essential services. Perhaps a little bit slower than we had in the past, but that's to be expected. We had people working from home. We found out that working from home is a viable alternative in some cases. We found that perhaps there were opportunities for job consolidation, job elimination, making certain functions more automated, upgrading our systems to allow people to do more online. And this is an opportunity that we have right now to streamline city services, to try to downsize and save money, to avoid those layoffs that Ms. Smith just mentioned, or furloughs. Coming up, we could possibly see another surge in coronavirus cases. If you listen to the epidemiologists and you listen to the medical professionals who study these trends, they see these things happening already. We see what happened in Danbury over the past couple of days. When people start to relax and they don't start practicing those protocols, and we're fortunate in the city of Norwalk. Our numbers of cases based on our population were the lowest of all the major cities. We're fortunate that we are fiscally sound. And I want to thank Mr. Dakowitz and his team for helping keep us fiscally sound. We're AAA bond rated by the 3 agencies, but we also know that the Norwalk Public Schools, we're going to have to work with them to make sure that we get school back in session as safely as possible while protecting the children and the staff. And we've had estimates. The city just received $8.2 million from the state that goes directly to the school, but the schools are saying that might not be enough. That might be a $12 to $14 million shortfall. So we don't know what the future holds, but we do know that there are some opportunities right now for us to make some decisions that will help save the taxpayers money down the road and still make the city services much more efficient and much easier to navigate. So I think this is an opportunity, and I want to thank Mr. Bernie, Mr. Dakowitz, Ms. King, the unions who are buying into this and who have allowed us to say that it is our decision which positions we want to replace, if any. So they've given us great latitude and they've worked with us, and I want to thank them as well. So again, if there's any other comments or any other questions, Mr. Burnett.
Thank you, Mayor Rilling. I just want to emphasize that, and I think it's important to emphasize that this is a voluntary retirement incentive plan.
Mhm.
And that are eligible should really take a close look at their numbers, take a close look at how it can provide a very sound and secure financial situation for them. The last time we offered this voluntary incentive plan was 12 years ago. So it's not a plan that's offered each and every year. So I truly want to emphasize that those that are eligible should really take a close look at the numbers and see if it can provide a sound financial footprint for them and their families. Thank you.
Thank you. Further comment or discussion? And I don't know if it was mentioned, but we do want to remind anybody that may be listening that this the decision will have to be made in the first part or the early September. So this is not a program that's going to go on for indefinite period of time, as Mr. Burnett just mentioned. I don't see Ms. King back. I know Alicia's here. I don't see Donna King back online. So Ms. Smith, you seem to be able to take a roll call vote, if you will, unless there's any further discussion. Okay, Ms. Smith, if you will take the roll call vote.
Indeed. Mr. Burnett,
Aye.
Ms. Johnson,
Aye.
Mr. Langella,
Aye.
Mr. Sacchinelli,
Aye.
Mr. Hoovelman,
Aye.
Mr. Roberts,
To brag about his.
Mr. Roberts,
Aye.
Ms. Young. Oh, she's right. She's recused herself. Sorry. Mr. Kites,
Yes.
Mr. Theodorides,
Yes.
Mr. Keegan,
Yes.
Mr. Sirenides,
Yes.
Mr. Livingston,
Yes.
Ms. Shanahan,
Yes.
and I am a yes as well. And so the motion passes unanimously. The retirement incentive passes unanimously.
13-0. Thank you all for your time. I believe now I need another motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Serenides, motion to adjourn. It is 9:01 and we are adjourned. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Play the rest of this.